Hi guys, I'm Trish with Unique Me 3 Healing and Empowerment. Let's see, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my ascension journey, how I became aware that I was on an ascension journey and going through an awakening process. It goes back many, many years ago. However, that's when it started. However, I didn't become aware until 2016. That's what was going on. July 6th, 2016, actually. That day when I woke up, there was so many things that were going on. I was fighting with everybody. Everybody just seemed to have problems with me. Everything that could possibly go wrong that day went wrong. However, while I'm saying that things went wrong, there were so many lessons that was being learned that day, and I realized, like, man, after the third or fourth thing that happened, I've learned lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. It's like, what am I supposed to be doing with this? And I started really just paying attention, and this continued for days at a time. And at the same time, I had just found out that I was a twin flame. I was going through the whole chasing and running part. My mom had just found out. Like a few months prior to that she had stomach cancer, and she was already in stage 4. So like there was so many things that were going on. I had recently, like a year, 2 years previous to that, had split up with somebody that I was with for a little while, and was living with a family member, and had to have a back surgery done. My back was broke. But why I'm bringing that up is this is the beginning of the story. So when I'm living with these family members, my ex-husband's family, actually, me and my son were living there in their basement. I had just split up. I was going through a broken heart at the same time, realizing that I had a twin flame, and that was awakened in me, and just all kinds of weird occurrences kept happening. So anyway, when I was living with the guy that we had split up, I was having all kinds of ascension symptoms. Okay, I didn't know at this time that's what they were, but they were. I was swelling up really big. I gained over like 70 pounds at within a year or so's time. I had seen so many different specialists, heart doctors, endocrinologists, all kinds of things, trying to figure out like why I was in so much pain, why I would be sleeping for hours at a time, or why I wouldn't be able to sleep for days at a time. And this is without drugs, guys. So just know that weird things will happen to you that are similar to if you were on drugs. So that was something that was really hard for me to deal with. So anyway, to get back to, all these symptoms kept coming up. I was nauseous every single day of my life. I was having problems falling asleep on the toilet and not understanding what was going on. This is the house where I seen the raven and the spiritual flying around in the bedroom at night, and it done it for several nights in a row until I finally realized, like, shit, this is a raven. Like, who am I supposed to tell that I'm seeing a raven in the spiritual? Like, I had nobody to talk to about this stuff. So anyway, when we split up, me and my son went to this family member's house, and I had recently found out that I needed surgery on my back because my legs were also temporary paralyzing. I wasn't able to walk at certain times. I wasn't able to get out of bed without assistance. Like, my health just seemed like it was deteriorating for no reason. I had heart conditions that came up. I was having headaches a lot, dizzy a lot, just all kinds of crap, right? All these female issues that was coming up. So anyway, so I moved to, and me and my son moved in with my family, and I have back surgery. This was in 2014, and March 2014, and it made it to where I could no longer do hair until, after I healed from that quite some time. So anyway, I wasn't able to work, okay? I wasn't able to work. I had all kinds of things, that just changed in my life, and it was just unbelievable things. So I finally got to a part in my life where I was tired of hurting. I was tired of not being able to work, because that's something that I've always liked to do. I'm a hairstylist, and this was before I became a healer. I'm a hairstylist, so I had clients that depended on me. I had to get out of working in a salon, and in 2009 because of this stuff with my legs, or 2011 because of the stuff with my legs and back, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. So I had this surgery in 2014. It took way longer than what the doctors thought it would take to heal. I had all kinds of things that had happened to me. I didn't like taking the pain pills, but they were part of the healing process because I'm a recovering addict, so I struggled with that. I mean, there was just one thing right after the other. So once I found out that my mom was sick and I was going back and forth from where I live now in Ohio to Indiana to help her and stuff, that became something that I just ended up staying there for a while. During the time that I was staying with my mom, my sister lived there, my stepdad, and there was three animals, and then my copper that came from my son ended up coming in. During this time, I had things that kept coming up at my mom's house, things I didn't like about her, issues that I had that I hadn't told her would keep coming up in my mind, just all kinds of weird things. And I just got the idea, like, I've tried meditating before and it never really worked for me. I couldn't sit still. My mind raced too much. I'm going to give this another try. Something's got to change. Okay. So I just felt like something had to change. My life, isn't the way that I wanted to be. I wanted my children back in my life. I wanted them to be independent, this, and that. I didn't want to be in pain. I wanted to figure out a way of getting off of 48 different pills that I was taking a day. Not different pills, but 48 pills total that I was taking off of about 12 different prescriptions, okay? And so, like, I just really wanted this change in my life. So I started meditating while I lived with my mom. Me and my sister shared a bedroom. Me and my sister were never close due to, issues growing up or what have you. But me and my sister became close. I started seeing things in my sister that I needed to heal in myself. Same thing with my mom, my stepdad, my brother, whoever. But it started a chain of reaction. So I started this meditating, and at first it was crazy. I really couldn't do it like I had just told you. And then all of a sudden, just one day, this silence came over me during meditation. And if I start crying, guys, these are tears of gratitude because my life has changed so much since I became aware that something was happening to me, that my life was changing. And just so many things that just make me so grateful. So anyway, the healing began by me just taking a look at, first of all, like, when I'd say things that I didn't think that I was supposed to say or react in ways that I shouldn't have reacted, instantly God, the angels, whatever, would give me messages like, you shouldn't say that, and this is why. Like, I just kept becoming aware of every little thing that I needed to change, and the things that I was doing wrong or that needed to be healed. It just kept coming up. So I started seeing some friends of mine that live out in Metamora, Indiana. They're very spiritual in nature. They're both healers. They have their own metaphysical store and things like that. So I went out there and started spending some time with them, and one of them did some healing on me and removed implants. At that time, I didn't know what implants were. I didn't know what chakras were. I wasn't really communicating with angels. At least I was communicating with them, but I thought I thought everything that I had been communicating with since I was a young child was deceased loved ones or ancestors. I never knew that angels could talk to me that way. Like, it was always something that I wanted to happen. Like, I wanted to be able to experience speaking with other beings other than, people that had died, because it was always a sad thing for me. Not always, but it was a lot of times a sad thing for me. So anyway, to get back to the story, so I went and got these healing sessions with her done when I was visiting her, and something just started to change. I started realizing that in my meditation, it became easier and easier to meditate, that I started seeing colors, that I started hearing things, I started having buzzing noises, I started having things being moved around on me at my mom's, and it's just like every single day, numbers were being given to me, repetitive numbers, and at first it was like just daily. I would see 1111 or 111 or whatever. And then finally, after a few weeks of seeing that, I was like, there's something more to these numbers than what, so I started paying attention to the numbers, and then the angels started speaking to me through numbers. And that's where that started. So, there was a day when me and my sister, and this is probably months, maybe a year after I had been meditating every day, and I was spending hours, sometimes 18 hours a day meditating, and I'd still come home on the weekends and do things like that as well. And when I come home on the weekends, I would meditate for a couple days at a time, just getting up to use the bathroom. That's it. Like, it was crazy. Like, that became my life, and it was because God just showed me so many things in that time. So I started listening to music for my chakras. I started doing what I called reflection meditation. So I would look in the mirror in my eyes, and I would search for the things that I felt like God was showing me that I needed to heal, other than the things that I was already told. And I realized again, and this is something that I had forgot was happening to me when I was younger, but it started happening again. I would shapeshift. When I'd look at my face, I'd turn into all kinds of different beings, aliens, ETs, whatever you want to call them, and water figures, different ancestors and ascended masters, just so many different faces of different races, shapes, colors. It didn't matter. Like, they were just, I was turning into all these different things, and I didn't understand, like, what is going on with me. So I didn't really tell many people about that. I had a friend that I had reunited with from elementary school. She had been coming over, and I had told her what's going on and stuff, and I was helping her with her spiritual journey, and giving her intuitive readings and things like that. And she started like picking up on it. I realized, like, she's part of this journey that I'm on. I don't know what this journey is exactly, but she's part of this journey that I'm on. And I started getting insight into what was going to happen in my future. Some things that were going to happen that day, next month, and years from now. And it just kept coming and coming and coming. And now I've always seen into my future, but it was things that more of like hopes and aspirations than things that would actually happen. So it was more, I guess at that time I didn't realize it was guidance, but now I know that was guidance. So anyhow, I can't remember which came first, but I'm going to share the raccoon story first. So my friend had came over, and I've been doing some things with her. Me and my sister had decided that we were going to go swimming. I think this was the next day. We were going to go swimming. We had our bathing suits on. We were going to go to a public pool, and God detoured us to a park or a nature preserve type thing 12, thank you. Anyway, so we went to this place in our bathing suits and in our little water shoes or flip-flops, and we took this walk on this path, and the whole time that we were there, we had a deer following us, and it wouldn't get so close that we could touch it or anything, but I knew anyway that it was trying to give me a message. I didn't know what, but I knew that it was trying to give me a message. So to make a long story short, we spent a couple hours there walking around, and then we noticed that this deer was gone, and I'm like, well, maybe it went back to the path, because we had got off the path and went down by the river or creek, whatever it is. And so we went back to the path where we had started, and we noticed that there were these two ladies down a distance, stopped and staring at something that was laying on the ground. Me and my sister couldn't tell what it was. It sort of looked like the size of a cat from where we were, so we wasn't real for sure exactly what it was. But anyway, we kept getting closer and closer and closer, and we realized it was a raccoon, and this raccoon wasn't moving. The little bit that it did move, it was in its head, and it was just like such slow movements. Like, you knew this raccoon was getting ready to die. I had asked what had happened, and I'm asking this, on a telepathic level, like, what happened? And I I seen that it had fell out of the tree, and I looked up, and there's really high trees. I'm like, flip, man, that's a really hard fall. And I heard that it broke its back, and I seen that it had broke its back. Its back leg was out of place, and what else was it? Something up at the top by its neck. So anyhow, I looked at my sister and I said, I wonder if I can heal it. I don't know where it came from. It just came out, and she said, well, try. So I did what I seen in my head. I put my hands out, and I was a little bit of distance from this raccoon. I put my hands out. Within seconds, literally seconds of seeing what I was supposed to do, which was sending energy from my heart out through my hands directly to this raccoon, and imagine it starting at the neck and head and going all the way down its spine, and seeing those bones going back into place. And then when I got down to the back leg, seeing that leg go back into place, and literally within seconds of asking my sister if she was videotaping it, the raccoon got up and walked away. So me and my sister look at each other, and I'm in tears, like, what the hell just happened? Oh my God. Like, this this is huge. Like, to me, this is huge. And I said, I wonder if I can do this to animals, what can I do with people? So the very next day, me, my sister, and my friend Maria are at my friend's house, my friend Maria's house, and we are trying to heal my sister's kidneys because my sister has been on dialysis for 19 years. And that's another story. But anyhow, I was told that she will be healed, completely healed, to where her kidneys will work again. The kidney that my brother gave her several years ago will eventually work again. And we got up at 5 a.m. in the morning, went there, started trying all these things, and it began there. Like, so many different interactions happened with the supernatural with all three of us that day, and it's all experiences that none of us really wanted to share, because who wants to hear this stuff? Like, people are going to think we're crazy. So anyway, my friend Maria ended up coming over to the house like a couple days later, I don't know. I have no concept of time whatsoever. I'm sure most of you don't either, if you're on this journey like I am. So anyway, she comes over. We're doing some reflection meditation in the mirror with her. I am doing it with her. She's looking in the mirror, and I put my hand around her ear because I'm trying to like clear out her ear chakra a little bit, and not knowing really what I'm doing, but I'm listening to the guidance that I'm given. And as I put my hand up by her ear to do that, she hears somebody speak to her and tell her that everything was going to be okay. And she just starts bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? What happened? What's wrong? She's like, nothing, something just talked to me. And she's like, I don't know who it was. And she's telling me what it said. And I'm like, are you sure it wasn't just like a spirit or something? Because I'm used to these kind of things. So I'm just like thinking, yay, she finally woke up to mediumship, right? Well, no, that ain't what happened. So I ended up putting my hands on her ears as I was guided. And, before we knew it, we realized that that I was given a gift when my hands go on people's ears like this and cup them. Energy comes out of my hands that is channeled through my arms down into both my hands, out my palms, into the ears of the person receiving a channeled message from, whether it be deceased loved ones, to help them heal because of the death of them. They couldn't move on. It could be from angels, guides, like ascended masters. Like, it's just been something that happened, and it's continued to grow. And so many people have been blessed with this gift. Now, I had to do a lot of healing because of this gift coming up. First of all, I was a Christian, still, who believed that, because my whole life I've been told like my mediumship was wrong, being psychic per se is wrong. But what they didn't understand, and I didn't understand at that time, is like, we are all God. Like, God showed me the other day, like, I said, are you a being or are you an entity or what? He said, no, I'm an entity. And I heard an audible voice, and I've heard this voice before, and so I knew that it was God. But then I all of a sudden got this flash in my car, and it looked like a being. It had arms, legs, had no ears or hair or hands or feet or anything like that. No other body parts, but it was filled with blue energy, like blue and purple energy. And I seen all these eyes pop up all over it, and had seen that, each one of those eyeballs represents a soul or an oversoul. Within each eyeball is many, many, many different eyeballs. Each eyeball is split into a divine feminine and a divine masculine. Underneath each one of the divine feminines and the divine masculines are other divine feminine and divine masculines that are split. Each one of those eyeballs that originally started, before you look into those eyeballs and see the other eyeballs, represent the other's oversoul. All those eyeballs that are inside there represent the soul family or the soul group or whatever you want to call it, our guidance. Okay, so I got that epiphany. Help me out. Where was I? I feel like I'm off track on what I was trying to get at. So not really understanding, like, everything happens at the same time. The past, present, and future happen at the same time. So the way that I was able to heal and get past this whole mediumship thing and it being wrong was to learn and to understand, like, we are all a piece of God. We are all just counterparts of God. It doesn't matter if we're the divine feminine or the divine masculine. It just matters that we understand that we are all one. And the past, present, and future happening at the same time. So if you think of like a circle being our life, okay? The past, present, and future. The train keeps going around this train track, and it keeps playing and playing and playing. Now think about it all happening at the same time. Okay, so our life gets repeated. We have alternate realities that exist in so many different dimensions, and we're able to pick up the energies from those things that have already happened because they're all happening now. So that's the way that I healed that, and now I am able to do that and to speak with you guys about it and not be ashamed of the gift that God has given me, because I know that it's truth and it's of love and light. So that's where I'm at with that. So the whole that happened, and it just continued, and I've been told for 3 years, like, you're on this ascension journey now. All those things that had happened to you for years previous to that all led you up to this point. You need to start making videos. And I was told 3 years ago I need to start making videos, but I didn't know what about. Like, I had just begun, so to speak, so I thought, and not realizing, like, it started when I was younger, when I was a child. So anyway, to make a long story short, that's how my ascension journey started, or how I became aware that I was on an ascension journey. And then I started working with my sponsor and other people in a 12-step program that I am a member of. And they were my guinea pigs for healing and for doing channels, through my hands and to their ears for deceased loved ones or what have you. And they have really helped me to just grow and understand ascension and awakening in a way that they can't even imagine, and my life has just changed so much for the better. But, so that's how that came about. And I'm going to share a little bit now how I started to tell my family. So the first people I told about, like I said, was my sponsor. And, my sister was always aware of what was going on with me because we shared the same room. She would meditate with me sometimes. She had experiences with astral traveling to heaven by me channeling Archangel Michael, and I've got a video of that. I'll probably share that sometime. I have a lot of videos that I'd like to share with you guys of things that I've done with people, but I need to make sure, first of all, that they're okay with that. So I haven't done that yet. So anyway, synchronicities just kept happening, and finally I got to the point where I was told that I needed to talk to my dad about it. God had already set it up to where me and my dad were spending time together every Wednesday watching Game of Thrones, and sorry, my camera just fell. But anyway, watching Game of Thrones, and all the way to his house, I knew what was going to happen. I was very nervous. I knew that I had to tell him about this, and it took me a while after I got there to be able to talk to him, and it's like the tears just started pouring, and I told him all these things that were happening with me and all these supernatural experiences and about out-of-body experiences that I had had. And he started telling me, and I thought it was going to be completely different, but he started telling me a few stories about him and my stepmom, people that they had met that were slightly like me or had gifts that were like me, and that how they were interested in going and seeing psychics or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So to make a long story short, my dad was very open to hearing what I had to say. And I explained to him that I knew that my life was about to change in drastic ways, that the whole world was going to change. And I just kept telling him all these things. And now, this is not every time I go and see my dad, but now we can meditate together. We've had out-of-body experiences together, or astral travel together. We have healed DNA inside. We have been inside our double helix and the 12 strands of DNA, and actually repaired things in them. He is a master electrician, a retired master electrician, and he was able to help me with so many different things, because I kept seeing wires, different colored wires in my leg for this pump that pumps in energy and transmits it in my leg, and my leg kept pumping and acting funny. And I know most of you probably don't understand this, but if you do, you know that we have all kinds of weird movements that'll happen in our body, especially once we awaken all of our dormant DNA. So my body will move in all kinds of weird directions, and my family sees that stuff. But it's like I just allowed myself to be truthful about everything and only shared the things that I knew that I was supposed to share. And if I started sharing something that I knew I wasn't supposed to, I mean, that I would get that instant, be quiet, don't say that to them. They're not ready for that. And my stepmom, I've been told, is still not ready to hear everything. I think she's more of an analytical person and needs to understand everything. I'm not for sure, but I've not been guided to tell her all of it about it. So, anyway, my dad and my brother were did you guys see the orb? Anyway, it's over here. 24, 20, 24, 46, 47, 48. So anyhow, my brother and my dad were the two that have always been my rocks, my go-to, my support and all that stuff. And they were the two that I wanted to really be on board with me, and to, even if they didn't understand what was going on with me, to still be a part of my journey with me and support me. I didn't expect them to try to change or anything, but to support me. And I got that instantly from my dad, even though he still thinks I'm weird, and I keep getting even stranger and stranger every time he sees me. And I finally got a message from my brother last night, and I've been waiting for this. So after making all these videos and stepping into faith and doing what I was told to do, like I've told you guys, this whole week has been nothing but miracles and synchronicities happening, telling me like things are right on track. So yesterday I get this message from him. The day before, I literally was praying and asking God, like, is my brother watching my videos, or has he watched him in videos? And I heard just a really sweet yes. I didn't need to know how much he's watched. I didn't need to know if he's watched them all or whatever. I just needed to know that he was at least interested in my life now. So I got this message yesterday, and he tells me, he's like, basically, you sound very confident. He said, you have too much makeup on. You don't need it. I love you, and I'm proud of you. And then sent me another message saying that he's been reading the comments that people have been making, and that they're nothing but positive things to keep, moving forward, basically. And I'm paraphrasing because I'm like all up in my head right now. Just so grateful that I finally got like that last bit of support that I wanted, or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Like, I am just on cloud nine and so grateful. And like, my life is just changing so fast, and there's so much more to my ascension or awakening story that I just don't have time to put it all in one video. But I just wanted to get this little bit out there so that people like, this stuff is so real, and everybody, the whole planet, will eventually go through it. If you're not alive in this lifetime to see it, you will still be here. When peace on earth happens, when that heaven on earth happens that the Bible talks about, it's because of people like us letting our light shine and bringing everybody into the awareness of this ascension. And there will be peace on earth. We are all going to move to more of being spiritual light bodies instead of in our physical form. That's what we are doing. We're moving to Christ consciousness to get us into unconditional love, not judgmental, becoming like Christ was, learning to be like Christ was, or is. Anyhow, I feel like I'm supposed to stop right now. I don't know why. I guess it doesn't matter. I'm supposed to stop right now. I hope that this helps somebody. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them, and I will get to them as soon as possible. Like I said, I am really busy right now. Like, it doesn't really look like much is going on in my life, but there is so much going on in my life, and it takes a lot of time to meditate, to journal, to heal the things that need to be healed. Because just because I'm a healer doesn't mean that I'm not still learning. We're always going to learn, and we're always going to be evolving, and as long as we're always putting action into changing our lives and evolving. So I hope everybody has a great day, And thank you for coming and seeing me. Like, share, subscribe, follow. And just let me know how I'm doing, guys. Share your ascension stories with me as well. I love to hear things like this. I love to talk about it. And like I said, my story is so much longer than this, but I'm told to stop. So I guess there'll be more videos on it. Everybody have a great day. I love you. Bye.